Good morning, everybody. I hope all of you are doing great. Whenever you're watching this video, I hope that it just uplifts you. My name's Audra, and I am going to be doing this student Devo today. And as you can tell, I'm out here, outside. I'm in my pasture right now. And thankfully the cows aren't down here right now because that would be very distracting. I do live on a farm, so I love that. I love nature, and I know a lot of you do too, and you feel closer to God when you're in nature because there's just so much beauty and creation around you. And I totally agree with that. That's how I feel, and that's part of why I wanted to do this out here today. It's kind of cloudy back there, you know. I really love cloudy days, which may be kind of weird to you, but I do. Fun fact about me. So, enough about me though. Out in nature, there's a lot of hope, and there's a lot of signs of hope, and that's what I'm gonna be talking about today, is hope. So I wanted to talk about one of my favorite verses, Romans 15:13. You've probably heard this one, but it is, may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. This is one that I just love to come back to anytime I'm feeling down, or I just need a boost, and it just really is uplifting. And so let's break it down a little bit. So the first part, may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him. It can be really hard, y'all, to trust somebody that we can't see. I mean, as humans, we are very physical. We are very focused on what's here and now. And you know what? We can't see him physically. But when we're out in nature, you know, I mean, God's everywhere. And so there's really no excuse. I mean, we can see God in everything. We just have to make that choice. But what I want to talk about is, as you trust in him, in the second part of the verse, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. When we take in all these things, and when we really think about it, and we drop our control, and we think about God and what he wants and what he has in store, we're going to be uplifted with hope. Because when we put our hope in things that are here on this earth and worldly and everything, it's not really going to get us anywhere. And sure, I mean, you may be missing like extracurricular activities, you're missing community, you're missing all those things, and I am too. But let's think about what, like what Ben and Nika were saying about primary and secondary goods. I mean, when we put our hope in Jesus, that's primary. That is huge. Everything else will fall into place if we do that. And this whole corona thing, you know, God is bigger than that. So let's think about the tape and the rope analogy that we used. Analogy, is that the word? Yes, maybe. But the piece of tape on the rope, and the piece of tape represented our lifetime here on earth, and then the rest of the rope was eternity. So that little piece of tape, you know what Corona's gonna be on that little piece of tape of our life here on earth? It's gonna be real small. Okay, it may seem like a big deal right now, and yeah, it is. This is like unlike anything we've ever been through. But in the grand scheme of things, it really isn't that big of a deal. And there's so much more. And when we fix our eyes on Jesus, especially during this time, and we run to him because he's giving us this opportunity, because we have a lot of time on our hands, and we can focus on the primary goods instead of the secondary goods. I mean, we can't go to school. We don't have choir or band. We don't have sports. I mean, maybe it's starting to pick back up, but I mean, we have time. And I think that that's a gift that we've been given, even though it can be hard to do that. But dive into that. And I've really been trying to read my Bible, and that's not always an easy thing to do. But that's something I've really been trying to be diligent about, and trusting in him, even though I hate this as much as y'all do. I am an extrovert, as you can probably tell. I love being around people, and it makes me really sad to not be around my friends, and I'm not gonna cry. It's just, it is sad, and I know a lot of us are discouraged right now, but it is gonna be okay. So let's think about what we can look for here that is hope from God, okay? And since we're in nature, I'm going to use some examples from that. What is one thing that comes to your mind, like a symbol of hope? What is one thing that we see? I mean, one that comes to my mind is a rainbow. I mean, that from the beginning of time, the rainbow, ultimate sign of hope. You know, God promised He would never flood the earth again. Main thing of hope there, okay? But what does a rainbow come after? It comes after a storm, when rain comes down and it seeps into the ground. And what happens? Flowers grow, okay? Flowers, another sign of hope. And where do we see flowers besides nature? We see them a lot at like parties and weddings. Weddings, huge sign of hope. Union between two people, love. It was God's intention. I mean, that's a huge thing. It's commitment. And what did Jesus do for us? He committed to us. He unified with us, and by giving Himself on the cross, we gained a life with Jesus, and we gained hope. And that is the main thing. Love is hope, and Jesus is perfect love. Jesus is our living hope. So when you think about all that, and you think about what's happening right now, it just is so small compared to what Jesus did for us. And like it says in the Bible, there's no greater love than laying down one's life for one's friend. Okay, and y'all, Jesus did that for us. He did it, and don't take that for granted. I know that we'd say, yes, Jesus died on the cross and stuff, but that's a big thing. That's a big thing. It's not a small thing. And we are truly blessed. So just think about that. Take that with you this week. I hope that you got something out of this. I know I'm not the greatest. My hands just made a really weird noise when I pushed them together. So if you heard a little noise, that's what that was. I apologize. But I hope that you all have a great weekend. It was really nice to be able to talk about hope today. And if you need anything, please reach out to me. So have a great week, y'all. Miss you.